We're going to begin this hour with the breaking news from LaGuardia. We've been talking about it all morning. This is what is left of an Air Canada plane. Look at this. The nose tilted up, the tail on the ground, the nose and the cockpit destroyed. The jet collided with a fire truck on the runway. Officials confirmed that both pilots, we're very sorry to tell you this, have been killed. Dozens of other people were hurt here. Tom Hansen is at LaGuardia for the latest. Tom, good morning.
Hey there, Gayle. Good morning to you. Well, investigators and emergency crews are still working after that late-night collision between a passenger jet and an airport vehicle. There are a lot of questions here, so here's what we know so far. Officials say an Air Canada Express flight arriving from Montreal struck a Port Authority firefighting vehicle on the runway just before midnight Sunday. The aircraft, a Bombardier CRJ 900 carrying 72 passengers and 4 crew members, had just landed when the crash happened on runway 4. The impact caused significant damage to the plane's nose and cockpit, and authorities say both pilots were killed in the crash. Several passengers were injured as well, along with the first responders in the vehicle. According to the investigators, the emergency truck had been responding to a separate incident and was cleared to cross the runway before the plane struck it. You could hear the air traffic controller talking about the incident with the pilot of a Frontier flight. Take a listen.
That wasn't good to watch.
Yeah, I know I was here. I tried to reach out to my stuff, and we were dealing with an emergency earlier, and I messed up.
No, man, you did the best you could.
Now, because of the crash, the FAA issued a ground stop and shut down LaGuardia, forcing flights to be diverted or canceled while crews secure the scene and investigators begin their work. The National Transportation Safety Board is now leading the investigation, looking at air traffic control communications, runway procedures, and what exactly led to the collision. Now, for now, travelers are being told to check with their airlines as cancellations ripple across the region. Vlad.
All right, Tom, thank you very much. Joining us now is Captain Laura Einsettler, a pilot with more than 30 years of experience. She's also someone who's very familiar with the runways in and out of LaGuardia. Captain, good morning. Good to see you. What was your initial reaction when you heard about this collision?
It's very unusual to have a situation where we're landing on the runway and you have emergency equipment operators on the runway itself. It's highly unusual, and it's very concerning, obviously, from the visuals that we see here.
It is. The visuals is what I can't get over. I just think, Laura, as a passenger, when the plane lands and you have that bump on the ground, I feel instant relief. And I would imagine a pilot feels the same. There just seemed to be a confluence of factors against this guy. There's one person on duty allegedly in the air traffic control tower, bad weather. This one person is dealing with an earlier emergency. Is there anything based on what you've heard so far, and I know it's still a very fluid situation, that the pilot could have done, that anything could have been done to avoid this?
Unfortunately, with situations like this, it's always a series of events. So we're going to be looking at things like where the communications broke down. Sometimes what happens is the emergency equipment operators are on a different frequency than we are. So sometimes we're not hearing, and especially once we're landing on the runway, as you said, you feel that, okay, we're on the runway, we're on the ground. And as pilots, our job is to then, of course, decelerate the aircraft safely. And we're looking at that point at those speeds to be turning off the runway. So it would be quite a shock for them to see, if they even saw the emergency equipment there.
Captain, I know it's important after tragedies like this to not make assumptions or to place blame. But in your opinion, should we be looking at this as a rare incident, or does it point to a larger concern of aviation safety or possibly even staffing issues?
I would say it's all the above. Right now, we have so many distractions, and it's so critical to always, have heads up, eyes out, being situationally aware of every situation at all times to help try to prevent as best as we can situations like this from happening. And obviously in aviation, we always learn so that we can always do better as we move forward.
Captain Einsettler, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you.
Thank you.